folks, one of the Redneck Country Podcast. You are on with Real Redneck Todd Millard, and of course, we've got the almost guy, Real Redneck Bill Tom. Bill, are you there?
I'm here, and it's a beautiful night for a podcast.
It is a beautiful night for a podcast. We're finally out of the woods of the bad weather, I think.
I think so. My air conditioning hasn't stopped in 2 weeks, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Right? I turned mine way down at night, and then I find myself the next day, because I'm working from home, at about 9:30, and I'm going, I'm getting a little bit chilly right about now. I think I set it down to like 67, 66, 67.
67. I won't do anything. 73 is where mine's set at.
73? Why even have one? What do you?
No, mine's 68
What's the point
in the
of that?
Mine's 68 in the daytime, 66 at night. And nobody's
Holy smokes.
What's the sense of having air conditioning if you don't?
But I'll tell you, I get a little bit chilly, so then I'm sitting here in a hoodie. But I do like it at night. 67, pull those blankets up, put the fan on, let that cool air hit your face.
Yep, 66 at night with a ceiling.
73? What you're punishing your family.
Hey, Don, it's glad to hear that you're on the podcast. I know that your son hasn't introduced you yet tonight, but I think I'm going to say, hey.
He jumped the gun.
We've been through this. He's trying to ignore me tonight.
We are on, I don't even know what day it is, Bill, of COVID lockdown and grandparents coming and homeschooling the kids. Well, they can't go to school. And I'll tell you what, we were just having the conversation.
Jen feels my pain. She knows what I go through all day.
Is it time to leave the neighborhood nest?
You come on up my way. There's this house for sale on my road. It's coming up for sale in a couple of days. It's got a nice long driveway, nice garage.
I'll tell you what, if it wasn't 10 times what it should be priced at, I'd probably be there.
I don't even know what it's going to go for, but I bet you're right.
I said in this housing market, I said to my wife, we should sell our house and move into my parents' basement. But after this COVID gig, that ain't gonna. Now we know what that would be like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where you'd
I'm
say
sure your dad would kick you out in a week.
No, he wouldn't have the power because they'd love it too much that we're there taking care of them. It would be more the money you saved on selling your house at this time to put away until the market crashes, you would spend on lawyer fees.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. So yeah, sitting beside me is patriarch of Redneck Country, my father, Real Redneck Todd Millard, and yes, we know his mic is hot.
It is, and I'm enjoying it.
Good evening, Don.
I'll tell you
How
what.
are you, Bill?
Fantastic. Having a nice cup of tea and sitting out in the sunroom. So it's going to be a good night. I've got a couple of good things to talk about. I need some help.
I've got the topic this week.
I know you do, but I need some help.
Well, we know that. You and Dad both. You guys should get couches and your fake PhDs, and away you go. I tell you what, you can help each other.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that, this being our therapy session for the night, and I'm going to go there right away because I know that we got lots to talk about tonight. But my help is anxiety. Here's
you have anxiety, too much anxiety,
and this is what the anxiety is over. I have not backed up my boat into a boat launch in about 6 years, and I'm afraid I don't know how to do it anymore.
See, that's where you and I differ.
Ooh, now I feel better. I feel better. It's off my
You got
chest.
it out there. Everybody in Bill's area code, have some patience. He's just gone on the record, and now that he said that, you must have patience.
I tell you,
that bugs you, really?
Is there.
I don't even care. I'm just like, I'm
anxious.
coming. Doot, doot. Here I come.
Super anxious right now. There's so many things that are going through my head about this boat. My boat is 98% done. I'm going tomorrow, and we talk about this in a minute, to Cabela's to look for a new fish finder to upgrade from my 1986 technology to something that might have more than just the goldfish brand fish going across my screen. I'm looking for between a Lawrence and a hummingbird. I haven't quite decided yet.
I can see you now. Here, fishy.
Yeah, that's what it is. It doesn't tell me where I'm going. It tells me where I've been, and there may have been a fish there 6 months ago. I don't know because this technology is so slow and old. But I'm going to go for an upgrade. So
on your way home, it beeps up and says, "Whoa, that lake was 42 feet deep."
Yeah, this is where I'm looking for a little bit of an upgrade from my old old school technology that came with the boat. But so and now
they
I'm starting to worry
don't make
about,
them to help you back a boat in the water. I should.
Well,
just that technology is not there yet.
How do you know that? So here's
Google.
So this weekend, my goal by the end of the weekend is to do a road test of the boat motor trailer, just to make sure that it's not moving around, shifting, and I've got everything done. And 90% of that time is going to be spent in the church parking lot down the road, backing into parking spots, because that's how much anxiety I have.
You're going to actually hook the thing up to your truck. You're going to drive it down the road, and you're going to back it up in a church parking lot versus actually going and backing it into water. You've already done the hard part, Bill. You've hooked it up to your truck and you've driven. Now you just water is the next step.
I have no problems.
But why not put it in the water?
No, I'm not ready for that yet. I got to know I can back it up into a spot.
Baby steps.
I
steps.
understand your dilemma, Bill, because for eons, years and years, we towed a trailer weekends, holidays, and I could back that sucker in anywhere, just slick as a whistle. And then we didn't go for years and years. And now to get in a truck and have a trailer behind, I know what you mean. But guess what? When you get my age, it gets really easy because there's always people around and they look and they say, is that old guy going to back that in there? And you always get somebody step forward and say, hey, would you like me to do that for you? Yeah, sure. Will you? Go ahead. And it's taken care of.
Good.
I've seen, the trailers. You want to back a trailer? My brother can back a trailer. And he drives a trailer in the back of his truck for hot tubs every single day. Guaranteed that he will have no issues whatsoever backing the trailer in, around corners, down hills whatsoever. But I used to, go to the rodeos every weekend with my tent trailer, having to back into whatever. I used to take the boat somewhere before rodeo almost every other weekend. So no issues whatsoever. But I've got a 6-year lag between when the last time I put it in the water myself and now. And that gap is so big that my family hasn't been there with me to put the boat in the water. So now it's drive the van, back the boat in, figure out how to get it off the trailer without sinking the whole thing in the lake.
Has Hunter got his license?
Driver's license?
Yeah.
No, he's only 15.
Yeah, good enough.
Yeah, close.
Anxiety taken care of, and he'll be ecstatic. Whole other thing to worry about.
Yeah. I've seen my dad. He's no help either because he says, "Hey, I've seen all these videos of the guys down in the States when they're backing their boat in, and the next thing they know, they turn around and the boat motor trailer truck and everything is underneath the water, and everybody's there watching, laughing, filming it on their phones." No. You tell me the anxiety isn't there with that.
Oh, come on.
This is my couch session
I just
to figure
do it. I just go. Okay, Bill. Here we go. Like turkey hunting. Throw the decoys down. Throw your anxiety down and just do it. Back in I know that you are so careful and methodical that you won't sink that boat. If anything, you'll just get halfway down the boat ramp and be like, I'm close enough.
Yeah.
You'll get out and go, I'm not even on the water yet. Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is where I'm at. So I've said my piece on public record here. If anybody is in my area, the other thing that's the problem here,
and you want to help Bill back a boat in the water, give him a ring.
The other thing that levels my anxiety is the local marina is closed. The one that I can go to, it's a public launch, beautiful launch, lots of parking spots. Because of COVID, it's closed until I think
define closed, like just a chain across it or cement embankments? Because if it's just a chain, it's not really closed, Bill.
Oh, no, there's a guard shack to get into the compound parking lot.
I was going to say, there's like an empty place for you to practice.
Well, there you go. That's it. But no, it's super closed. So the next one closest to it is in Cooks Bay Marina. But their deal is you need to book a time slot, and their time slots are granted.
You've got a certain amount of time, window to get that thing with a lot of people lined up watching.
You got it. It's a 5-minute window. You need to book your time at 9:55.
Okay.
And by 10 o'clock, you need to be out of there.
Just picture this, and I know you didn't get this at the end of your career, but at the beginning, you're a new rider. You're getting down in the chute. Here comes the chute boss. He's told you 3 minutes ago, you're next. Are you ready? Go. That's all you got to picture. Like, I remember that. You ready? Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Get this thing going. Let's go. Move. Let's go. Nod your head. We're turning them out.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do. There you are. Pressure. You perform under pressure. Boats in the water. Just like that.
Boats in the water. Yeah. So is my truck, trailer, and everything else.
Hey. At least you tried.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'd be my next phone call, Todd. I need your truck to pull mine out.
Put your life jacket on before you start backing it in.
Yeah.
Everybody be like, why is that dude got his life? That's why.
Yeah.
Good thing he wound his window down ahead of time.
So I think on the next podcast, I'll report out on how the road test went. And the one after that is going to be the actual next weekend for sure is going to be putting it on the water. Yeah.
That's too funny.
So there you go. That was my week of anxiety, thinking, holy smokes, now my boat's done. I'm actually going to have to take it out of the driveway, put it on the water.
See, I didn't even have to ask what you did this week. Now we know it was just spent stewing.
Therapy 101. Ed's been stewing for all day. I said, I got to get this out on the podcast tonight. Somebody's got to help me with my issues here.
If anybody wants to help Bill back his boat in the water, reach out.
Yeah. Anyways, that's that.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Don, did you get your tires put on the car?
I did this afternoon.
See?
This afternoon. I took it for a run. It's a little smoother. It I don't know, it just seems a little smoother. And I got out of there. I went the highway and I booted her up and I got her up to 110, still smooth as silk, no shimmy, no nothing or other. I thought, oh, that's good to go. So I brought her home, put her in the garage. So I'm good to go this weekend. Cruise anyway.
Nice.
And the new alternator, oh my gosh, that battery's just charged right up. I can crank it. It starts on a dime. It's awesome.
And now you can actually enjoy it without fear of anything. Right
I'll tell you what, those tires are big.
33.
Bigger than the other ones?
15.
No, they're the same size, but they look bigger. Maybe, I don't know, because they got fresh tread on them or something, but 33 inches high, which, okay, I roll 37s on my F-250 with a 6-inch lift, right? So you're not much further off. There's a lot of guys running 33s as mud tires. So these things are 33 inches high, which comes all the way up to the back of the darn bucket on the thing. And then 23 and a half inches wide.
21 and a half.
21 and a half? 21 and a half. That's freaking wide.
Yeah, that is wide.
Yeah. Now the guy says, well, how much air you want in them? I said, I'll put what it recommends. He says, well, your car's so light. It's all motor. He says, you're not going to want them the max. You want them
aired down a little bit.
A soft ride. And I said, yeah, put whatever you think. Just give me a soft ride. So anyway, they were all taken with. They had me back out of the shop and park in front of the shop, in front of the sign, move here, move there, taking pictures for their website.
No, that's
advertising
good.
that they put those tires on that car. So I don't know, be on Facebook or their website or something, I guess. But
well, that size of tire, it's almost a tractor tire, so you put calcium in it instead of air. And
but yeah, no, they're awesome. Yeah, I had a really nice cruise down the highway. It runs smooth, so
good deal.
Good to go for the weekend now.
Yeah, and I saw some really neat pictures of a new musket on online too. I don't know if that's part of your conversation point today.
Oh,
Millard
it's
Jr.
not really, but yeah, I put a new stock on my gun.
Did you shoot it yesterday?
I did shoot it.
And?
Yeah.
There is zero, and I mean zero, felt recoil. Like, Dad, you shot it.
Yeah, there's no recall.
Like nothing. And I'm shooting some hot shells. Like that's because I'm young and stupid, right? So
I've shot guns with recoils and them soft kicks and everything, and the gun moves when you shoot, like the recoil. But on Todd, and he showed me when you shoot, the stock goes in and out, but the cheek piece does not move.
See, there's nothing.
Right where it is.
Your face, because it's like a stock lock, right? So your cheek, for everybody listening, if anybody knows, PFS, precision fit stock is what they call it. I call them robo stocks because it looks like a bionic arm on the back of your gun. But so the cheek piece with the recoil, it doesn't move because it's got a shock built in, but the gun comes into your shoulder. Your cheek piece does not move. It's not part mounted to that, like to the shock. The shock is below it. So your face never moves. the gun comes into the butt pad, into your shoulder, and that's that. So it's really weird. And I have it set really soft so that it really eats up all the recoil. Yeah, like because I had a recoil
because
on.
I know that for the recoil, I know on my wife's gun, when I lock that into my arm,
you
my
can
shoulder,
pull it in. You probably pull it in, right?
I pull it right. Well, only her shoulders are like her arms are smaller. So when I'm pulling it into my shoulder, I'm compressing that to almost the bottom. So this one, can you set the? Yeah,
you can. You can set it. I got it set really, really soft, and I don't pull it in. Like I don't tense up and squeeze it in.
I shot a couple shots with it,
but I've got it. The dad shoots a way longer pull. Like I've got her down to 13.25 inch
and I
length of pull.
I pull my gun in tight, and when I went to pull it in tight, I could move it, and I thought, oh, okay, I got to hold it a little lighter here. But I did. I hit the first target out, no problem. But that was after Todd made the adjustment too, because he discovered like. I was here when he measured it, and I held it in place, and he did all the measurements so he could get the stock on exactly the same as his old stock and make all the adjustments. And he found out that it was still higher than his old one. So he took out a spacer out of each stud there, and then he was smoking them again like he normally does. So he's got her shooting on. And then he handed the gun to Bill. He said, here, go, Bill. Bill, he smoked the first 2 targets out with him.
He didn't want to stop. He was looking for an extra shell. Oh, he hammered him, and fast. Because it shoots high. I mean, it's still shooting high like I did. But I was shooting really high when I figured it out. But then I was like, no, it's still too high. So I took it down a bit.
Doubles with it, did you?
No, they didn't have a doubles trap set up. I really want to.
How that's going to go.
I want to go. They got sporting clays this Sunday, so I'm fixing to take her out. I just got to talk some other shooters into it. Patriarch.
It depends on the move. Got to move my grandson back to St. Thomas. So I still haven't got a time when that happens, so I don't know.
So anyway, it's pretty cool, man. Like it is weird though, because the gun moves and your face doesn't. I'm just not used to that. It is really bizarre. Yeah. But it is cool. It's really soft shooting, and it's like infinite adjustments. But I mean, once you get it set, you get it set. But
how does it feel for weight in comparison to your wood stock?
It's about the same because I had the recoil on my old gun. So with the wood's really light, but you put that recoil on, the recoil is pretty heavy. So this stock is about the same as my old my walnut stock with the recoil on it.
Yeah, so it swings the same. The balance points are all the
pretty
the
much,
same in
pretty
your
much.
mind. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, like there wasn't a whole lot different there, other than just the way that it handles that recoil. It comes back in, and then it looks freaking awesome, I think.
Yeah, it looks good.
Some guys think it's ugly. It's a matter of taste. I think it's freaking cool.
And we were shooting good. We were shooting really good. I shot a 24 and a 23 in handicap, so that would have been a 47 at an inter club. And Bill was really pleased. He shot
new shooter
three
Bill.
Scores in the 20s. He shot a 21.
He's really
21s and a 23.
Starting to step her up.
He would have had a 44 in the inter club, and that's the best he's ever done. So he's coming too. So we were all shooting really good last night, and it was fun.
That's good.
It was a good visit. It was a nice evening. It was hot though.
Oh, the weather was beautiful
it was a little muggy,
for being out there.
A little humid.
Yeah.
Well, we got there and it just finished a big storm. They said it
was
just pouring rain and just rain coming off the roof and over the eave troughs. And when it didn't rain all the way up for us, and then when we got there, it had just finished, and then it was nice. We were there the whole time. It didn't rain. It was a beautiful night. We were all shooting really good, so enjoyed it. Todd was pleased with the gun. Everybody noticed his gun. Everybody was
he's getting chirped.
On his case about it. And he was getting
that
chirped.
thing's ugly.
So I didn't hear any
numbers. What do you mean it doesn't have a mirror on
it?
Yeah. Of course,
I didn't hear any numbers out of your corner though. How'd you do?
Well, the first round, I don't know. I was high the first round. I think I ran a 24 on my second round on my singles. Mm-hmm. And then my caps wasn't as good. I've been straight 24s in the caps for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I think I was like a 21 or a 22.
Yeah, but you got a new setup. You got
it's going to take a bit to get used to, but I hope not that long. That's why I said I want to get out to sporting clays and be able to shoot it and just shoot as much as I can to get used to it. But make sure I want to keep it.
Practice should be fine.
I think so.
Is there a thought that you may want to not keep it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. You just don't know. It's not your comfort. Right? You switch it up like that, like the wood stock and everything. I know how that gun comes into me. I know how my cheek feels on it. Now, my everything should be in the same place, but it's plastic now, or like a hard polyurethane. It's a different feel. So that's going to take a bit to get used to.
There you go.
Soft wood versus a hard polyurethane or whatever, but yeah, no, I don't know. We'll find out. I know it's got resale value, so that's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
but
you get your money out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap. I don't even know what they'd be brand new to get here. $2,400, I think they said. Yeah. By the time you get it shipped up. But
so no more turkey hunting.
Now we're done, which is okay.
I saw two turkeys today, actually.
Oh, on our way home from the gun club? Oh. On the way to the gun club, there was one by himself, middle of a field. Nothing for hundreds of yards all the way around him. Full strut. It's just standing there. And then on the way home from the gun club, there's about 14 hens and a big tom right in the middle of them. Full strut. Now, you stinking jokers.
Yeah, that's just the way it is, right? When the season's over, they get the calendar, and they can't figure...
Yeah.
Before, we're standing there shooting trap, then all of a sudden everybody started missing because a flock of turkeys came out of the woods right to the right of the trap house and just sauntered across the field right towards like the way we shoot, the direction we shoot, a field over, and just took their time crossing the field.
Big old Tom showed up. It was still season. Everybody's going, you going to go get that, Todd?
Everybody was missing their turn and watching the turkeys, and people were yelling, "Stop watching the turkeys! Watch the targets!"
And the gun club owned the land. I'm thinking, man, I could just sneak around the backside, but yeah. But yeah, turkeys are over. So I have got what I think is a topic that just came to me. And I didn't tell you what it was. I didn't tell Dad, 'cause that's our MO. Like we're sitting around the campfire, just chit chatting. And this would be something that I would call you up, Bill, and I would just say, Bill, do you consider yourself a hunter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you a hunter? If somebody says, are you a hunter?
The gathering part of that is a little bit different, but the hunting is definitely in my vocabulary.
To me, it's all one and the same. We're not going to break it down. Do you consider yourself a hunter? Okay, so then are you a fisherman?
I am a fisherman too.
Are you a shooter?
I would classify myself as a shooter. Yes.
Why did you hesitate?
Because I don't do it as much.
But you hesitated. So when I said, "Are you a shooter?" what were going to be your options?
Yes or no.
Black and white. Maybe no. I dabble in shooting, or I own a gun.
For me, no. It's not a black and white. Am I a shooter? Yes, I am, because I've done it, and I consider. I'm sitting right beside the Terry Jordan wall chart here in my sunroom. I've invested in the sport from clothing, time, ammunition, trying to better myself in it. The only thing that I hesitated is I'm not actively a member of a gun club, and I don't go weekly like you guys do. So yeah, there's a defining difference between am I a shooter or not.
So you're a shooter. You consider yourself a shooter. That's a good thing. So the way that you just described that, it would be the same if I said to you, are you a cowboy?
Yeah. There's no hesitation there. I mean, there was a time I was more active in the rodeo world than I am now.
Once a cowboy, always a cowboy.
In my mind, once a cowboy, always a cowboy. Right? The mentality's there. The fact that the trophy saddle and the buckle doesn't make me a cowboy. That
it just reinforces the crap out of it.
Reinforces the activity. Right?
I got pictures says I did it.
Yeah.
Hospital bills.
I thought it was interesting when you said, well, the other half of that being a gatherer, like hunter-gatherer. I'm a hunter-gatherer, but I'm not as successful at the gathering because I gather stuff along the side of the road. And I was on a walk today, and here were two beautiful wrought iron lawn chairs, in really good shape, and I'm only a block away from my truck at the end
gatherer.
of the walk.
Dad, are you a redneck?
and I thought, man, I'm going to get my truck, and I'm going back and get those chairs. They're perfect shape. So I got back to the house, and I jumped in the truck. I drove around the block, and here's two ladies loading them in their car.
You got beat. You got rednecked.
Yeah.
You plumb got rednecked out.
So my gathering isn't as successful.
I was going to
as
say,
my
because
hunting.
crap shows up here every day. I got to take pictures of and put on Facebook Marketplace for him. And I'm just, that's right. So like yesterday it was the club. Today you didn't get the chairs.
Didn't get the chairs. And I wanted them too. They were nice. They would have went at my yard perfect.
Oh, you weren't going to flip them or clean them up and sell them?
No, they were
you
going in the
wanted
yard.
somebody's junk. You got out rednecked. Okay, Dad. So are you a hunter?
Oh yeah.
Are you a fisherman?
Yes.
And are you a shooter?
Oh yeah. And I can say that with confidence because I'm even branching into other disciplines. I don't do handgun, but I'm a shooter.
Yeah, it's boring.
Sporting clays, skeet, trap. I'm a shooter.
Right on. So why? Sorry, Bill.
Yeah, I was just going to say, where did you? What led you down this question?
Okay,
path?
so I think, and I mean, other people will be able to back me up on this or tell me otherwise. But there's many people, I believe, that are on Facebook or on social media and stuff that are in the hunting groups and the fishing groups that maybe have bought a shotgun, own a shotgun, but they don't get out to the gun club that much. They hunt, but they maybe only hunt once or twice, or they're not successful at it. Or they've hunted a lot for 4 years, 5 years, and never, ever shot an animal. And I know there's lots of those people. And if you ask them, are you a hunter? They would probably go, you know, and it's kind of like me. So I have guitars. So since the age of, when did you guys buy me my first guitar? 10?
Oh, I don't remember now.
8, 10 years old. I took lessons. I quit. 15 or 16, I took lessons. I quit. In my 20s, I took lessons. I quit. Got the bug to collect. So I now have, I don't know if my wife's not listening, 14 guitars, 13, 14 guitars, something like that. So
we showed him how to do his own laundry. He quit. We showed him how to make his bed. He quit. We showed him how to pick up his room.
I
He
think
quit.
you have a commitment
where
issue
did
there.
this
If you
dad?
say, are you a quitter?
Serenity?
Yeah, I'm a quitter.
So I collected guitars and then I dabble with the guitar. I pick them up and I know enough to be dangerous. I can hold my own at a campfire. And then, but I took lessons again, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, and I quit because my guitar teacher, who was really good actually, and he would actually just hang around after. I'd pay him an hour to teach me, and then he'd be here for another 3 jamming with me, and it'd be like midnight before he left. But he moved away, retirement package, and moved away, so I lost my guitar teacher, so I quit. So if somebody says to me, and they do, because I got guitars hanging on the walls and that, so when I get on the calls from work and we get on video call or something, somebody says, hey, there's a guitar back there. Do you play guitar? I'm hesitant.
Yeah.
I don't say I play guitar. I collect guitars. And so recently I've found a site and a guitar teacher online, which there's a million of these things popping up, and I've seen them all. I have even done them before, like 6 years ago, the Marty Stewart thing and a whole 9 yards. You get DVDs, and back when DVDs were a thing, maybe it was 10, 15 years ago, and you get DVDs and you follow along, but it's a little bit different. I got Rock Band that you can, or not Rock Band, I don't know, Rocksmith, that is actually, you play a real guitar, and that is probably the coolest thing ever. Like if you want to learn guitar, it's a really good instructor shit thing, but this is not a guitar podcast. Regardless, this is where I got the idea. So I recently got an email spam thing, and it was a video, and I happened to watch it, and it's this guy, and he says, do you consider yourself a guitar player, or do you just dabble? And this really spoke to me. And I'm like, he says, when people ask you if you play guitar, do you say, yes, I'm a guitar player, or do you shy away from that? Do you want to say, yes, I'm a guitar player? And if you do, then blah, blah, blah. Bill, I subscribed.
You subscribed.
I subscribed.
That marketing pitch got your attention so much that you subscribed.
No lie. And I look for these stupid little intricacies that are like, is this a spam thing? And I did the research and the reviews and all of that.
Now,
and the price point was right and everything else. And he spoke to me, Bill. He spoke to me.
Subscribe because you wanted to change your perception or people's perception of what you do from dabbling to playing?
I want to say I'm a guitar player. I'm not a dabbler. I thought about it and I thought, in between shooting and fishing and hunting.
Well, yeah, you need something else to occupy your time with.
Gotta have some time. I'm like, I own 14 guitars.
From what I understand,
need to be able to play them better.
from what I understand, what your dad says, the time is the dishes, the laundry, the cleaning up.
Bill.
Oh Lord.
So,
You wouldn't believe it.
but here's my theory, and hear me out here, is so when he spoke to me, because I thought what stops a lot of people from playing guitar is probably they don't want to spend the money to buy a guitar. I've already done that 14 times, Bill, on nice guitars. So
I don't know why you're speaking so silently on this particular subject matter, but
I've been told any more come in, one must go out. That was 3 ago. But regardless, so at some point she just loses track. You can't tell which one's which. Yeah. I flipped
she's
one.
an accountant. She can count.
So regardless, so I thought this guy, I watched the video and it really did. It spoke to me. And then I thought, you know what? So I did my research. I took the time. I waited. I mulled it over for the night. And I thought, I have the guitars. I can do this, because he also said that it's every day. You go online and he's got a video there for you to progress for the day. And you only need 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour a day. And I'm like, I can do that. I get a lunch or at night or whenever, when the podcast is over, I can do that. And then I'm going to progress. And so I signed up, and then I got thinking, you know what? This is so true, because then it evolved into a guy posted on Facebook and he said, show me your dream shotgun. And it was right after I had just signed up for this. And so I'm like, really? And it was on one of these Facebook groups that has like 25,000 hunter fishermen on it, anglers on it, right? So guys are putting up there, well, it's my 870 and it's my Mossberg 535. And I'm like, dude, we're talking dream shotguns. And so I'm like, a dream shotgun would be a Holland and Holland side by side, custom made for me. That takes a year and a half, and I've got to go to England to be fitted for this thing 3 times before it's complete. And I get to pick out the Turkish walnut wood that's going to go on my gun and yada, 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 and all this, right? So I'm like, Holland, and guys were like, what the heck is a Holland and Holland? Like, I don't know what they Google it, my man. And you now have your eyes open to a whole world of shotguns you probably didn't know about. So anyway, I posted that. And then I thought, wait a minute. All these guys are mentioning this. For a lot of guys, I probably already own their dream shotgun. I have a nice Italian made Caesar Guarini, and I just had put this precision fit stock, the PFS stock on it. Like, this thing looks like a machine. And now with that stock and the gun, it's a combo, and it's probably $10,000. I've got this gun now, right? By the time you buy it, you put the stock on it and the other stuff, the choke tubes and everything else, because you got to have mullers. So I took pictures and I said, you know what? I digress. I already own my dream shotgun, and here it is. And I put it, guys are like, and it was me flexing a little bit, right? Because, hey, check this out, check what I got. And a guy said, that is, and I said, you know what? I have to say that this is my dream shotgun, because if I don't say it's my dream shotgun and tell myself already it is, then that's my excuse for missing targets. And you can't have an excuse or you'll miss targets. You have to believe that you have everything you need. You've got the mental side, you've got the gun, you've got the ammunition, you've got the skill set to win. And if you don't, then why are you even showing up? Sell the gun and go buy the gun that you believe you're going to win with, because you've just defeated yourself by thinking, if I could win if I had that gun. And that's not the case. And so then I got thinking, all the guys on here believe that with their guns. And then some, though, I know would think, if I just had this, I could become a turkey hunter. If I had that, I could be an actual deer. When people ask me, I could say, yes, I'm a deer hunter. And
the funny thing that it comes from that conversation is the upgrades that I've made in my turkey hunting game this year. I was in the hunting shed prior to the season. I looked at my decoys that were, I don't know,
20-something years old.
Well,
we talked about this, right?
Yeah, just about that old. When Delta first came out with the the collapsible decoys that
Delta made
cool
decoys. How old are you?
This is what I'm saying. Delta had a beautiful set, and I bought 2 hens and the Jake, and they sat in my bag, and I hunted over them. I shot turkeys over them, but I upgraded my decoys to some beautiful full body decoys, and I never saw a turkey until I put them in the shed. So I'm not sure what that says about the need for upgrading the equipment. And I truly believe that we are in a world or in a replacement mentality anyways. And I don't like the fact that we can't be satisfied with what we have, right?
That's the thought process for everything. That if I just had this, and so I've talked to big time shooters, and they'll tell you, and I mean, there's a whole study on it. You can get into the psychiatric side of sports, right? Where the id has to match the ego, and everything's got to be level, and you have to. But I think a lot of people lack that ego side. Ladies and gentlemen, I definitely do not lack that ego side.
That point of your street triangle approach here is certainly not missing.
But that side of the triangle is a little too big, which is one of my downfalls. So it has to all be equal. But I believe because I've asked people, oh, so you're a hunter? Well, yeah, I got my license. No, I believe if you want to be successful, you got to put it in your head. You are a hunter. You got your hunting license and you're going hunting. You're a hunter, because if you don't, you're not gonna make it happen.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that you can't be satisfied. You can't be wanting something different.
Oh, absolutely not.
If I have, I don't know, pick my Remington 870, and I want to upgrade that to a rifle that
Super Black Eagle 2.
Well, as an example, but that doesn't make me any less of a sportsman. Doesn't make me any less of a conservationist. Doesn't make me any less of the guy that wants to get up at 3:30 in the morning over and over and over again until he makes something happen.
That's right. Make it happen. But there's so many people that would have the mindset that, well, I'm only kind of a hunter, so I'm not going to do it. I believe that because I've asked people, oh, you hunt? And they're so intimidated when you ask that. And they're like, well, kinda. Because they think I'm going to ask them to back it up. What have you shot? Show me.
Yeah. Well, but right. that's the social media mentality what people have is they get intimidated about if I can't provide the photo evidence, it didn't happen, which I've heard said before in jest. You know what I mean? But, people get defensive. No, but it's said in jest on having a good time sitting around having a chat. But people do get defensive of the fact that maybe they haven't shot something, so they're embarrassed to say,
"If they're
I'm just starting."
Guaranteed.
And that's us as ambassadors of sport to promote. Hey, it's okay if you haven't shot. Tell me what you've done. Let's talk about it. Maybe you're wearing the white beard and glasses, and you're scaring all the birds out of the decoys.
Yeah. So that's exactly it, right? And have that conversation and learn. And so to me, the biggest thing was the way you shot your turkey. If somebody does it, and this is just me talking, but if somebody doesn't have that confidence that, hey, I'm a hunter, they're going to go out, they're going to do what they've maybe watched on TV or what they've been told to do, sit there and call. And if nothing comes, that's it. They're not going to make it happen. Head back to their car, drive home. Still don't think they're a hunter. They say, hey, you're sitting in the woods. You're a freaking hunter. That's it. But full stop. Go get your license. Go sit in the woods. Now you're a hunter. You have hunted. So then you got to have the confidence to make it happen. And I think that is what drives a lot of people's success. That there's a lot of people that don't get success because they don't have that confidence to do that.
On the other side of it too is it's okay to be humble and to ask, and
it is.
And the other, to ask if you haven't shot anything, and if you haven't been as successful.
Fake it till you make it, Bill. That's just roam the woods with a gun.
Right. Yeah, I've seen enough of that on Facebook and people who want to be sportsmen and hunters that.
That's a whole other conversation.
Which I was just going to say,
some people I have said, some Facebook pages I've been banned from because I'm like, you say you're a hunter, you present yourself as a hunter, and you're showing people how to shoot. I've seen your stance. I want to see the targets you've hit. Just go find me a busted clay because I don't think that you've actually seen one break. And again, I need to see pics of animals you shot because I don't think that's true. But I digress.
Yeah, that's misrepresentation. But we're talking about what you classify yourself and consider it. And Don, I mean, dude, when did you, Don, consider yourself a hunter?
Oh, way back when I was 15.
And what was that the defining moment for you where you said, as opposed to just being a gun owner, now you're a hunter?
Well, yeah, I was out hunting with, I could get my license at 15 with a note from my dad, which I did. And we're out hunting, walking along this creek in the brush, hunting rabbits. And boom, boom, on the other side of the brush. And here's another buddy from high school, and he's got 2 ducks laying on the water. And I thought, oh, I got to do this. And I started hunting ducks. And from the time I brought home my first duck, I was a hunter.
Did you consider yourself a hunter after you shot the duck or before you shot the duck? If somebody asked you before you harvested an animal, are you a hunter? What would you have said?
I would have said, yeah, because I was in it, man. I was going to be a hunter. I was going to bring home some game. And
that's what it takes.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, I hunted with a guy up at the hunt camp for many years that had never even seen a deer, let alone shot one. And he considered himself a hunter, and I would agree. I mean, we called him Grissom because he had every trick in the trade.
It ain't called killing. It's called hunting.
Well, and that's it. He was sitting out there in the blind. He left always, half an hour before sunset because he was scared of the dark, and he had to walk back there. And he always left before after sunrise to get in there because he was scared to walk into a spot in the dark either side. That sort of stuff. And you couldn't tell him any different, but he took his week off work and he enjoyed being up at the camp with the guys and enjoyed going to looking at the websites to have his latest toy trick tactic he was going to do. And sure enough, it was 6 years into his hunting up there. He shot a little fawn. It was last year's fawn, a small doe, let's say, and he was happy. He was super happy about that. But he considered himself a hunter before he shot that deer.
Absolutely.
My first year, it was about a 2-year-old 4-point, and oh man, I was ecstatic. My first deer, I couldn't wait to get that on the table. Yep.
But I think I believe that is a big part that people don't realize is you got to have that confidence and you've got to own it that, I'm a hunter, I'm a fisherman, I'm a shooter. Because if you don't, that little bit of doubt, it does so much damage to your psyche. You go home early. You're not positive. You're finicky in the tree stand or in the turkey woods. You're moving around because you don't think there's an animal there. You don't think you're good enough to get one close enough. And I think it subconsciously will break you down. And we give so many tips on here. I think that is a huge, huge thing is you got to be confident.
And it's funny because Todd never told me about this beforehand. And I've got a friend lives in London. And he is a golfer, and he's a great golfer. Every club he joins, he's become the club champion, and he has won a lot of tournaments. I mean, when he hits that ball, and we had this conversation because I said to Paul, you're a golfer. He says, yes, I am. I'm a golfer. He golfs every day in the summer, never misses a day. He joins 2 or 3 clubs. I'm a golfer. And he says, what are you? I said, I'm a trap shooter. I am a trap shooter. And that's what I'm trying to get perfect at. And so he says to me, do you know when you made a good shot? Yes. He says, do you know when you made yes. There's times when I pulled the trigger and if it breaks, I think, oh man, I got lucky there.
Someone was looking over my shoulder. That shouldn't have broke.
Because
those are the 100 straight days when you're like,
I knew
that 99 should have been there, but someone was looking out for me because I moved the gun the wrong way and that target still broke.
And I said to him, well, you're a golfer. And do you know when he says, yeah, I golf with this young guy quite a bit. And he says, I've never had a hole in one. And then he's got a couple of them now. But he said he was out golfing with this guy one day and they were talking about hitting the ball and if it's a good shot or it isn't, how do you recognize that? And Paul lined up the ball and he hit the shot and he says, like that one right there. And the guy says, what do you mean? That was the best shot I could have made on this hole. And when they got up, it was a hole in one. And he knew as soon as he made the swing and hit the ball. And he's a golfer. And he asked me, I said, yeah, I can tell you when I'm on. I know when those targets are going to be ink balls or when I'm going to get lucky and take a piece or a corner, or I've had to chase that one a little further and I finally caught it. Yeah, I know that 100% because I'm a trap shooter. I recognize that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, because with the same analogy, I don't consider myself a golfer, but I golf. You know, there's and it's that same comparison as to at what point in what you're doing do you define yourself as somebody that's more than an average dabbler and somebody that's there. And I think that's a good topic of conversation where we've made the point, right?
You got to be successful. You got to own it. You are a hunter. You are
you need
an
to be
angler.
Successful.
You are a shooter.
To be successful, you definitely need confidence. That's for sure.
Yeah, I just think it plays it, and because when I'm hunting, I'm absolutely confident that I'm going to get something. I don't have that doubt. I think the first 4 years of my hunting, I had massive doubt, and I didn't shoot a darn thing my first 4 years of hunting. I was frustrated out the wazoo, and that breaks your confidence. I had no confidence because
then he went to the trap field, and then he got his confidence. And I can remember, and that also carried over into deer hunting, because I remember him saying, my gosh, like there was 5 or 6 of us hunting, and guys were missing. And he says, how are they missing these deer? Put one in front of me.
I hadn't even seen one. And just put one in front of me. It's
in front of me, and I'll show you how to hit it. And he had that confidence. From then on, he had that confidence. And I was there when he shot his first doe, and I was there when he shot his first buck, and he had that confidence. Just put it in front of me. You know, yeah, you can get that confidence.
But I do. I think it's underrated. I don't think people realize that that's a huge thing. And I do, Bill. I think that for people that go hunting, they want to be successful.
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't do it. You know, I do believe there's some people that go up to deer camp just to get away from.
Oh, yeah. And some people, they'll tell you, I like to be in nature. But they still want to harvest something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so to be a hunter and to be a fisher or to be a trap shooter, you want to win something. To be a shotgun shooter, you want to win something.
Well, for me, I need a goal, right? And that goal for me is not to go out and just, you know, passively participate. I need to actively have something to reach and to go. My first goal was to win a trophy.
I knew that.
Trap shoot. You know, you knew that?
I knew that. You told me that.
Yeah, I was there the day you won that trophy too,
and proud. You know, in darts, my goal when I started to mess around with darts in my garage is to hit a 180. I hit a 180, and I kind of went away from it because I didn't have another
the dart
goal.
It's too easy.
You know,
give me a shotgun.
It took me forever. It took me forever to get my first 180, but you know, and that was my goal when I went out there every night and I threw until I could get confident enough. Shooting, same deal. I wanted to win a trophy. Now my next thing is I don't know to hit my first 25. You know, because I have never done that. I've hit many 24s, 23s, but I've never hit a 25. When the clubs open up and I can do that, then I can work towards a new goal. And if you don't have a goal, then you'll never hit anything. You know,
that's true too. Yeah. See, that's a whole other conversation. Setting goals.
You need to have something to work for. Setting goals, and that was for rodeo. I wanted to be a champion, and I did everything in my power that I could do within my control to achieve my goal. And then the year after, I was terrible because I didn't set any new goals.
And my goal when I went rodeo was I wanted to win a buckle. And when I realized my body couldn't hold up to it, and then I won a buckle shooting. So I was like, well, I won a buckle. I don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm out. I think that was the first time I seen you since rodeo was at Cabela's when we were doing the clinic. And I was like, look, I won my buckle.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so to tie this whole thing full circle from your cover, which I didn't know you were going to talk about your boat, is now I'm about to step into another arena and I've got to be confident because I do want to win or I wouldn't be stepping into this arena because that's my personality anyway. I'm not just a bench sitter kind of person, but I have my kayak. Now there is an Ontario kayak Bass Trail tournament.
Yeah, I wish you'd call it a new canoe. Because when you say kayak, I still think of this dinky little thing with this circle that you sit in.
Let's call it the battleship.
I know
it looks like a battleship.
I know it's a kayak, but the brand name is New Canoe. My New Canoe kayak. And
Like Frontier
more like a
12
fishing boat. Yeah, it's a different animal altogether, and it's impressive.
It looks like it's going to sink is what it looks like.
Not happening. I'm ready to rock. So there is opening day of bass up here. There's a tournament, and I want to go in this tournament. Now, I've never fished. I mean, aside from like the Long Point Bass opening day of tournament, but you don't really even register for that thing. You just go waste some fishing, right? I want to actually, so there's going to be an intro meeting online. Then they have a captain's meeting the night before on Facebook Live. And then 6 a.m. on opening day, you go to this lake and you are now in the tournament fishing.
I can just picture this. I've fished in bass fishing tournaments with Pee-Pee, and they fish in bass boats. And what they have is they call it a blast off. Right at 7. Take a time.
You
and
battle.
now all I can picture is these guys, 50 of these kayakers going, 5 miles an hour,
smacking each other with their paddles.
First spot, and they're jousting and tipping each other over, and the trolling motors are what's powering them.
No, you're not allowed to have a trolling motor. I just learned this. I've got to take the trolling motor off and just use it. It has to be man powered for these tournaments. Some tournaments, yes, but these ones
you won't make weigh-in because you'll get all the way out there and be like, I need somebody to tow me in.
Yes. And that's not allowed either. They call that. I can't even think. Yeah, I can't remember what they call it when you when you tow a boat, but that's illegal as well. You're not allowed to tow a boat.
So your weigh-in point is here,
and you don't weigh in. You don't weigh in. You get a card. The day that you have to print it for that tournament, and you have to have an approved board that you measure. That they don't go by weight, they go by length of fish. So you measure the fish on this board, and you have to put the fish on the board and take its picture with your card on the back of your hand, holding the fish down on the board, so that it shows your participant for this tournament. You've registered, and there's your fish, and then you have to text it in or upload it to a website or something like that. I'll find out soon.
Well, I can tell you what I'm not going to be doing for opening day of bass fishing, and it is in a canoe fishing in a tournament. That's for sure.
And see, Bill, and I thought you should borrow one and join me.
Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
I am going to be like you, anxiety. I'm going to be out of my element. You not back in a boat in 6 years, but I can't test it because now I'm probably going to have to go the night before because it's all the way up in Peterborough. So it's like 3 hours away. I'm going to have to stay somewhere because at 6 a.m. is the start time of the tournament. So I'm going to have to stay at a campground or something like that. And then I'm going to go be there with all these guys jousting with our batons or paddles or oars, whatever you want to call them, while we blast off and fish this tournament. And
I got a question for you. Are you a bass
yes,
tournament fisherman?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Because if I want to win, that's what I have to go with. Fake it till you freaking make it. And I know there's going to be guys probably out there pre-fishing because you're allowed to pre-fish till 6 p.m. the day before.
In their kayaks. In their new canoe.
Now you're allowed to use your trolling motor for pre-fishing. So... But regardless, I will not get that opportunity. So I'll be like, yeah, I know there's bass there. I have to know that there's a bass right there. Or you might as well. Why are you even casting? Why are you even at this tournament? Why are you even in a kayak? Why did you even drive 3 hours? I gotta have the ego.
I'm anxious to hear how this goes for you.
Yeah, my anxiety is more the logistics of trying to figure out where the heck to sleep the night before. I was thinking in my truck on the side of the road. People were like, that's a high traffic area. Don't do it.
Well, it's just sleeping in your kayak. Well, you don't have that.
I thought about it. But my daughter has a hammock she got for Easter. And if I could find a campsite with 2 trees, I would be rocking, but I can't guarantee you get a campsite with 2 trees the right width apart so I can, because it's one of them hammocks that it actually has a fly cover over it. It's got like a rain tarp that you put over it. So I borrow that and away I go.
Well, I see this as a new adventure for you, and I'll let my anxiety play itself out the way I will. And there was no way I could do that because I would have to have everything all figured out prior to. And
well, there's a meeting on Sunday night on Facebook coming up for new anglers. Yeah. To learn. So yeah, you should come on that with me.
Well, yeah, just so I can speak about it was just so I can make notes for you you can
ask somebody to borrow their kayak.
Yeah. When you guys decide this is a terrible idea, can I borrow your kayak?
I'm sure these guys got more than one.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's like trap shooters got more, like he got more than one shotgun.
Yeah, right. It's the same thing. But anyways, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, I hope that topic helped. I honestly believe that an ego is a big part of it. I have to believe that because I have a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, and whatever you got there rubs off to the rest of us. So we're guilty by association when it comes to that.
That or your brother rubbed off on you. I don't know which one it was this year, but
it's all good.
But anyway, yeah, good talking to you, Bill. As always.
You too, gentlemen. You too.
Awesome. Take care, Bill.
All right, gentlemen. Have a good night.
Yeah, you as well.
And that'll do it for this week, folks. For the Redneck Country Podcast, I'm Bill, the almost guy Tom.
And I'm Todd. And thanks for listening. And folks, if you want to be part of the podcast or you want to give us some feedback or really contact us about anything, feel free to email us at podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Again, that's podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you again next week.